Welcome everyone. Welcome to AAC's annual general meeting. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodian of the land. We all meeting at different places through Zoom, and I wanted to pay our respect to elders past and present, and I'll extend that respect to the Aboriginal people, if any present here. I'll do that. Besides that, I also would like to acknowledge our brother Gary, who's here with us. The fact that his mother just passed away yesterday, but very strong man he is, and it's a family where we come together, and also we pass our condolences to you, and sorry about your loss, brother. And now I'll hand it over to Noel, who will be chairperson of AAC, who will be giving us the chairman's report and walking us through the agenda. Thank you.
Let's start with apologies. We've got apologies from Phi. We've got apologies from Antoinette. We've got apology from Kristen, and then it's Simon, Bertrand, and Rick Farrell. With the minutes from previous meeting, it was recorded via Zoom, and the link it was not provided. And also, Phi took a few minutes, and for technical reasons, the minutes was not sent on time. So, and when I had a chat with her, she said actually everything was in the report. So she read the report and said most of the things we did, especially in the meeting that we had in June, was very well captured in a report that I handed out last night. So from the matters rising from the minutes, look, as I said, most of the things were in the report, and before maybe I hear any comments from you based on the report, I would like to go through the report that I sent yesterday. So as you all know, the African Australian Advocacy Center is a new organization, and it's 1 year since the organization started operating. Despite the high time caused by COVID-19, we've been extremely productive, and we continue, trying and do our efforts to make sure that AAC is there to fulfill its mission. So far we were able to establish a literature program, which is a wonderful program with Westwards. Some executive members last year, we witnessed that we had a meeting with the Westwards, and the reason why we had the meeting, it's because Westwards has been running literature programs, and when you see the programs they've been doing, many communities have been represented, but African community was left behind. And we said, how about we approach them and see if we can do a program with them, because we know that African Australian stories are rich and also need to be told. So the African Australian Literature Development Program was an initiative actually to mainly support, develop, and share, and of course celebrate the richness of the stories of African Australians within the multicultural context of not only of Western Sydney, because now we have even participants from around the country. So the program is currently being run by Westwards and the Australian Africa Australian Advocacy Center, and is financially supported by the Aaac Family Foundation. So the aims of the program is it's through stories to create a bridge of understanding and empathy between African communities with their generations. Also to create a sense of belonging and the pride for people aged 8 and above. So as we say now, I said the program is underway with more than 30 participants from 20 communities of African backgrounds across Australia. And among those African people, we even have like an American, we have also Brazilian, who are very proud to be called African, although their generation to generations were born in Brazil and America, but they understood that their roots are from Africa. So they are very proud to be part of this program, and they want to be ambassadors even post this program. And one of the participants, she's a doctor from America. She teaches at the Melbourne University. Welcome, Patrick. And she's been very supportive of this initiative because she knows that Australia has to learn the African stories. Australia must know that African stories exist. African stories are rich, not only in literature, also in every single life. She was even saying that the African story is a part of a human creation. So that shows you how this program is very important. And I can also tell you that this program is for 3 years funding. So now we are, this is a first intake, and we still have 2 intakes. And I will encourage AAC members who want to be part of this program to please let us know so that for the next second intake, you do not miss out. And also if even you know people who are interested in writing or doing any story, also please do not hesitate to be part of, or do not hesitate to tell them that this program is there for, for everyone. So what you're now trying to do now for this program, I was contacted a few days ago saying that now the program, the first intake is going to finish, and they want to do like media, some media coverage. They have requested me to send what I think the program was about and why I think this program was important for African Australian community. So I've sent that report because they want to do, they are doing an anthology of works to be released soon. And they are upon releasing, so we make sure that AAC members are the first to receive the copy of this. So on behalf of the African Australian Advocacy Center, I would like to thank Westwards and Others Foundation for this incredible project and the partnership. And I wish, of course, all the participants well with their future creations. So I continue with the further development. So we, as you know, when we talk about advocacy, it's all about also networking. So you can't do an advocacy without being known, without having links. That's why with AAC, to be able to achieve our mission and our aims, we need people, we need you, and we need everyone who may have something to do about what we are there for. That's the reason now. We've been developing links with the different organizations, and I started with very few, and I'm glad to see that Vin is here. Vin, apart from being the head of Africa Health Australia, is also the chair for board chair for the Western Sydney Migrant Resource Center. And we go very well with the Western Sydney Migrant Resource Center, and they know us and they're willing to work with us in the future. So Australian Red Cross, they have contacted me recently and they want to open a partnership with us. And we are about to organize a first meeting via Zoom to discuss the potential partnership with them. Also, as you know, STARTS, where Gary works, they've been with us since the beginning of this initiative. So having those organizations behind us gives us the hope that our future is, we're heading into the right direction. So, and what we hope to do with those links is to develop a formal MOU, as Vin was saying, to make sure what we're doing something that, something formal, and also we're doing something that we think are beneficial for both sides. So of course, still think we also were able to establish links, and thank Daniel once again for being, one of the active executive member, because Daniel and I were able to liaise with the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies. Daniel himself has been a part of their program in the past, so they know him, and also my wife has been a part of their program. And myself, I have very good relationship with the Jewish community here in Sydney. Therefore, they see us as genuine people or genuine community leaders that they can rely on to do something that can benefit our both communities. That's why they wanted to have a formal dinner this year in March, but unfortunately, this dinner didn't go ahead due to COVID-19. But however, we hope to develop them, we hope to resume this dinner next year. So also, I'm pleased to let you know that I have joined the Australian Human Rights Institute as the advisory board member. So this Human Rights Institute, the members on that board, they have extensive of experience. They have academics, they have lawyers, they have politicians, they have people from corporate world. So for me to be on that board, so it's like an exposure, not only for me, also for the AAC, because that's where now, where I am able to exhibit what AAC does. And as an example, the Craig Foster, whom you know very well from SBS, he's willing to work with us in the area of sport, how we can use sport in the African Australian community to raise awareness of issues of discrimination and other things. So also the other person is willing to work with us. So it's Magda Zubanski, who's a very well-known comedian here in Australia and abroad. She said she hasn't worked with the African Australian community, but it'd be very good in the future if there's an area we think we can work with her. So like other person also is willing to work with us. It's like Franny Kelly from ABC. She's very known and senior journalist, and she would love one day to invite us maybe and have a platform on radio, on ABC radio maybe, and discuss the matters that we think are seen as a barrier for African Australian community. So maybe something I can share with you as a AAC family members. Whenever we go with those links we get, those tell me one thing. So let's live in Australia as African Australian. So show Australian community that we are part of this community. That's why using African Australian. So it gives them also a sense of, that we also feel we belong to this country. Of course, there's with the media here, there's a way they can describe us that even if you are born here, there's a way that we can be described as foreigners. But many people that we've been dealing with, they advise us, they recommend us to use African Australian rather than being African, because even if I was born in Africa, yes, I'm an African, but I'm now part of this new environment. Of course, I had to acknowledge that also Australia is a part of my life as well. So apart from that, we worked successfully with our sister organization, Africa Health Australia, and I can't look. There's no reason of saying that. Since I met Dr. Vane a long time ago, I was inspired by his action, by his compassion, and also by his commitment to the well-being of African community in Australia. And I can even say that, he was one of my, the person I can say who motivated me to be also, to be involved in a community, because I used to see him in a different capacities. So, and I'm glad to see that we continue, working together. And as I said a while ago, Vin, we are ready to work with Aaac to develop a range of initiatives, together, as we have already done it in a report. I've put that we work together on clip for COVID-19, and that clip was very well received, not only in Australia, also abroad. And I remember there was the friend of mine in Kenya who posted it in his Facebook account, and within 24 hours, there was more than 1,700 views. So we also joined the Keep New South Wales Safe campaign. So this New South Wales Safe campaign, it's an organization founded by Sydney Jewish community, and it has more than 120 members. It's many organizations coming from different parts of the world. And I was pleased to see that apart from only Egyptian community, we are not the first African Australian community to be part of that organization. So what does this organization does? The Keep New South Wales Safe campaign. They are devising. So if we have issues, for example, of racism, other issues of injustice, we advise them of those issues relevant to our communities. And what they do, they take action in support of those activities. For example, if we're working on, racism issues, so we can let them know that we're working on this area, and then what they will do, they will support us in any way. So, and as you know, Tripoli said, to be able here to be recognized that we are an organization that is really there to serve, we need evidence-based. We need to do research. In doing research, we need the people who have experience. We need institutions that can also back us. So that's the reason why, with an advice of our advisory committee and also executive members. So we have people who've been working with us, but behind the scene, who've been advising us. And those people are the ones that we brought in this year. And you saw them, one is Professor Louise Chapel, who is now the Australian Human Rights Institute Director at University of New South Wales. She's very keen to engage with African communities in a way that benefits us. She understands that African Australian communities, in new community to Australia, we need to be there for them. We need to listen to them. We need to work with them. We also need to support them. So the other person is Professor Sandy Lynch. She's from Notre Dame University. She's a very outstanding person, very known here in Australia in the area of ethics. As you can know, as a growing organization, we need those people to be with us, to guide us, especially when we do things, for example, like research thing. Also, the other person is the Associate Professor Theo, who's a Canadian Australian, but from African background. He does biostatistics, and when we look at the issues we have with statistics here, we needed someone like him to be with us. I know those people are very busy. That's why we do not engage them often. But if it comes to research, and if it comes to research, there'll be people to go to for advices. That's why I'm very glad to see that those people have accepted to be on academic advisory committee. We're not going to see them often, but we only see them when we need them. So, and also we continue to establish links with the politicians at all levels of political parties to enhance our ability for successful advocacy in a variety of fields. But for us as AAC, these things I've been discussing with Gary, we don't want to rely on politicians a lot. We want, first of all, to stand on our own feet. We want to show that we can do something without them. But we need also to engage them in a way that benefit us, also benefit them. That's why I would like your ideas on how we can work with them in a constructive and a productive way. I don't want to go there, take a photo with a minister, take a photo with an MP, and then that minister, if there's any issues and they want to talk to them, we don't see them. You have seen these things that they're happy to invite us to their parties. We go there, we take photos with them, but in return, what do we get from them? So that's why we need to work around how we can work with those politicians in a way that benefits our community. So, and the other thing now, as we see here, so as you know, we've been holding numerous online sessions and meetings to consult with and advocate for our community. So we did like housing, employment, education, domestic violence, and the refugee asylum seekers and human rights. And we continue to do the same because that's our mission, to raise issues that impact on our people. So of course, then we continue to increase our influence in the political sphere to improve the effectiveness of our advocacy, including successful prepared and presenting at a Senate inquiry. That was as an example that we've been doing. And as you know, that inquiry was based on issues that affect our communities. And of course, we continue to look forward to hold a roundtable discussion in the upcoming year. So for the final, as you all know, COVID-19 has stopped everything. We watched it coming and we still see it, but it can't stop us from moving forward. That's why we are planning now to start a consultation next year in a different angle. So, and I was talking to one of the people who are looking forward to be like our ambassador. So, like, we had a meeting with the Kristen and we discussed about the reason why Kristen shares like international and the local knowledge, especially in the area of human rights. Then we looked at into what we can do for AAC in the upcoming years. And the one of the projects was to, based on this submission we did, we could do something like a theme of events like wellness and belonging within also, diaspora communities. And we can give a name, for example, writing the narrative. We know that whenever they see African here, they think we are Africans, we are nothing, we do nothing. But how can we use that submission we did to write our narrative? So one of the area to do this was to actually to have a concept or the idea that Australia presents itself as a success model for multiculturalism. Yet, minority communities like African communities, we don't see that much. If I ask you, do you think African Australian community is a successful community in Australia? I'm sure we have mixed reactions. So that's where we want to build on, and then start running like academic round discussions, whether we do them online or we do them face-to-face, but at the academic institutions. So we'll be discussing, for example, issues on racism, media, human rights, youth perspective, and mental health. And to do this, we need AAC members to be part of this. We need, for example, someone like Vin, as Vin said before. For example, even if we have mental health as one of the issues to raise, of course, we're not going to work with anyone when AAC is there. So we make sure we have a very good consultation and an MOU on how AAC can come in and then work with AAC to raise awareness of the mental health issues among African communities. Because we know that mental health issues is a big issue, and only a few people are talking about it. When it comes to youth, our youth, the African and Australian young people, they are the future of tomorrow. So if we don't work with them in the area that we see them having access to information, access to any support they need, then we are not preparing it tomorrow. That's why our focus also is on the youth, raising issues that youth are facing, and also making sure that we do those things in a way we present those issues in an academic way. And of course, whenever we'll be doing those events, so we will have a potential, to develop, for example, like we can incorporate those presentations, into a journal or other publications to extend the reach of audience. That's why every single event you'll be doing, because we'll be doing an academic way, we make sure that we have publication or a journal on each event. So, and as a conclusion, as you can see, so I would like to thank first of all, the executive board members and the individual members for your outstanding support, throughout the year. And I also like to say, to thank our supporters, like START, who've been supporting us financially, and also with other organizations like Aaac, who've been working with us. And we're looking forward to continue develop those relationships further, and to make sure the community we are there to serve is a community of, of hope. Also is a community that has a future, and we are there to help them build their future together. So that's all I can present from my chairman's report. Otherwise, unless we have questions to ask, that's what I can say from the report. Thank you. Yeah, what I can say, our treasurer Amanda has issues in the beginning of this year, which Daniel and I understood. So it was family circumstances, and she's still dealing with it, and but still also proud to be part of AAC. But however, Daniel and I has been assuming her role, and we are pleased to let you know that we have money in account. We received 4,000 from the Department of Veterans to organize an event to acknowledge the Australian soldiers who were in Rwanda post-genocide. The idea was that we want to organize that event so that the Rwandan community can say thank you to Australian Defence Force, also to Australian government, for sending your contingent to Rwanda to save lives. Because this year in February, there's a federal event organized by the Department of Defense and the Veterans. And this event was attended by the the Governor General, and he was acknowledging the contribution of Australian soldiers in Rwanda and also in Somalia. And later on, we thought, and I was approached by one of the officials from the department saying, this is also a good opportunity for African communities also to establish new links with different departments in Australia, because we are all used to have only connection with like Home Affairs and the Department of, they say like Human Resources or the DFAT, but we don't have other connections. Africa doesn't have other connections with other departments. So this also is a good opportunity for us to establish also links with different departments, to know that although the soldiers, Australian soldiers, are served in Rwanda and in Somalia, but also can be a way to establish those links with them. So event was supposed to be held in May, but due to COVID-19, so we could not go ahead. So we are planning to do this event either in February or in April. So other than that, so we have those 4,000. The other money we have, the money we got from Stats. And we also have few other money that people contributed to dinner with Jewish Board of Deputies. So far I can tell you that we haven't used any money yet, but I could say that there are people who contributed their money to the dinner, but when dinner could not take place, they wanted their money back. So because I could not withdraw the money from our account, so I had to use my own money to pay them. So when we get money, we withdraw money from SSA account, I will go with the treasurer, Daniel, and make sure that I get my money back. So otherwise, so we're going to send, we send every member the statement to see how much money we have in account, to see how and what have been used. But I can tell you that we haven't used the money yet. And today, one of the items is to discuss how we can have a card where we can withdraw the money rather than using a check. So with the literature program, I'm not going to say much on it. What I can say that now the intake one is about to finish. They are working on anthology. It's a kind of publications, and they're also about to announce this program on media. So I've been asked to provide what I think on like this program, the importance of this program with our communities. I've said what I thought. So I will keep you updated. But what I can say, please, the Intake 2 is going to take place next year. Be our ambassadors and make sure you invite your friends to be part of this program. As I said, the program is for anyone who's aged 8 and above. Okay, with the selected inquiry, so I will hand over this to Daniel and Gary to share with you what we did recently before we go to the advocacy training.
Gary, over to you. If there's anything, nothing from my side.
We had, if you want to, we had the Senate inquiry. We took some research in our consultation, and we had 5 people prepared, I think, on the day to talk, but due to time limitations, we only had 2 people were able to talk on the day. We're currently changing that into a video, which we're just fine-tuning that. Hopefully it will be up on the website and distributed to members. There's some really fantastic speeches that were done by the different members of AAAC. And earlier, prior to the meeting, we were discussing adding a bit more visuals to the to the recording. Aisha or Vin as well, which are here tonight, were part of that recording. If you want to add anything to that, to the process, feel free.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, I'm on the road. I think one of the takeaways would be that we may have to be very flexible in the future, so that if we are invited to such a section, if we realize that the arrangement at that point in time is different from how we prepared, to see how we can quickly adjust, so that we get our message, pass our message. But there is, what happened that day was beyond our control, really. But I'm just saying, in the future, we may have a bit of contingencies in case the chair of such forums decide to run it their own way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what I did, Gary, Daniel, and Aisha, was to send our oral speeches to the person who was in charge of receiving or incoming communications. So I raised issues that our oral speeches were not heard, and I sent everything. So everyone's speech has been sent.
No, that's good.
And that's the reason now, from that submission, the way forward is to now starting working on a project proposal based on that submission, but in an academic way. Any other question? Okay, so in terms of now advocacy training, we had a training on advocacy, and with one of them, a lawyer from US, but who's based here in Australia. The advocacy actually was very important, was good, because the main, the takeaway was to know how to use the language when we approach different audience. So if you're going to meet with a lawyer, what kind of language will you use? If you're meeting with an academic, what language do you use? So that was clear for us to know that if you're meeting with the politicians, so or with anyone, so get prepared. Know what the language that person wants to hear. Yes, sir. So with also constitution, that FI has been working on a constitution because she thought there was, with other few people, there was this, well, remember last year when we did that constitution, we were in a rush. So she thought now it's a good time for us to also spend more time on a constitution. So she sent the draft to have a look. So, and this morning, Kristen, who's the lawyer, she noticed that there's something that she'd be happy to add or change, and then so that she can send a final draft for endorsement. So by the end of next week, Kristen may send that draft constitution, and then we will send it to every member to have a look before we agree on those changes. So with the general business now, there's actually, as I said, so Vin knows this, we've been having issues similar to many organizations now, especially those in cooperative organizations. So using a check is a hassle, is a problem now. For example, if I live here in Liverpool, someone lives, and the treasurer lives in Canberra, or so, it's very hard to send a check. And also the other methods there are very hassle. It's very hard to do it. That's why I requested to have a bank card that treasurer can have. So, and if you want to withdraw the money, so it's not gonna take a time. And also if you want to pay something online, So as you can know, many things now are done online these days. If you want to do, if you want to purchase something, like for example, when we were doing our website, we had issues. We want to purchase something online, but the only option was to use our own money, because you can't use a check when you are paying on something online. So I would like it to ask you if we agree to write in the minutes that we want the bank we want to have a card, so that we can use that card to pay or withdraw the money when we need it.
You'll need a mover and a seconder on that. So if someone wants to move that motion.
Happy to move.
I will second.
Okay, so that can move.
Thank you.
Can the chair second?
Sorry?
Happy to second. Happy
Maybe
to
somebody
second.
else.
Okay, Patrick.
Happy to second.
Thank you, Patrick. Good.
Are there any objections? No objection, then the motion to be carried.
Thank you. Okay, another important thing, annual membership.
Just can I add something in regards to that bank thing?
Patrick, you're cutting off.
I just wanted to say, not only bank, not only. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but very hardly. Yeah.
I'm just saying, not only bank account, but any necessary, efficient way of transacting business on behalf of the organization. It can be transferring from one bank to the other, or whichever means that is efficient for the treasurer or for the person responsible.
Because it's not professional. Vinny knows also with the Aaac they have these issues. Where you need to pay something urgently, and then in that case, if you pay someone with a check, it doesn't work, So, and we end up using your own money, which is not professional, because it's very hard to, to continue doing that.
Yeah.
And thank you for endorsing that. So the other thing is annual membership fees. So only a few people have paid annual membership fees. I think it's like 10% of people have paid. And I would like to encourage every member to pay membership fees. As you all know, for the organization to operate, given what you have done, so I know there was issues with the COVID-19, but if you can please put in an effort into paying membership fees, because it shows, first of all, the commitment to the organization. Also shows, what we can say, the vision you have for the organization. If you have vision for something, so you support it with your heart. So that's why I encourage every member to pay the membership fees. Okay. Volunteers requested to support Aaac. I've been receiving email from different people who were willing to, they have reached us through Facebook, through email. They are willing to join our team. But here, I would suggest that Aaac, with the help of the executive committee, to sit down and then work on how we can use those volunteers. So we need to develop, I don't know if it's an MOU or a specific, maybe if we can develop, let's say, for example, the code of conduct for volunteers before we start welcoming them. So I will discuss this case with the executive committee, and also once we finish discussion, we send that report to the board members for approval. Any other comments regarding to volunteers who wanted to, like Gary or Vinny, with the volunteers for them to join, is there any specific requirements or procedures to do, or?
I would suggest working alongside Volunteers Australia or one of the volunteers services. There's one in Liverpool, and I think there's another one in Parramatta. I think there's one in Blacktown Vin, but I'm not sure 100%. And have the volunteers get registered with them, and then do the projects for AAAC. So they're AAAC volunteers, but they're underneath the insurance and other stuff of another organisation. The other one would be talking with other volunteer coordinators and seeking some of their advice and input into the process.
All right.
What are your thoughts, Vin? You have to unmute yourself, Vin.
I do agree. But what I don't know is whether at this stage, AAAC, I know there are operational issues really. If you were to apply for any of the universities to do their internship, we're probably not that established yet. But the advantage of that is that you could get somebody to work with you or for you for 3 months, thereabout.
Okay, I can give you an example where someone can volunteer. So we are now planning to start working on, for example, those events of issues of racism, media, human rights things. We can get someone who can write, for example, a journal, on that topic, targeting, African or Swahili community. So we need a volunteer who has experience from, let's say, writing those kind of stuff. So
okay, you're looking for pretty experienced people.
Yes.
Who are willing and happy
to help,
to use their expertise to further our cause.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's it. That's right. Yes. And that's kind of volunteers we're looking for. And for example, there's the one who has sent us, who has showed the interest. So he used to be like the business manager at the one of the human rights organization here. He said he used to write those articles, big articles, big ones. So he says he's willing to help.
Could he become a member?
That's actually good.
Issues, we think if we think we have issues, we think it's very, very big, and we need the support. So it's good to have that person who has experience, who can, what he will be looking for is to get the basic information he wants from us, so that he can write an article or a journal, even a submission on our behalf for us.
Yeah, but in that case, then you may need a small internal panel that will need to read those things to make sure that AAAC, that those articles or publications mirror what we believe in. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Like for example, I spoke to him about that media, that two girls, for example, who were racially, discriminated by media. He said, for example, that could be a case where you can raise that issues, but in a human rights perspective.
Yeah, it's also an issue which, if we have a professional, a high-profile article could be written and probably published in Sydney Morning Herald. That way, the name of the organization begins to be really known. Remember, I've told you severally that what is lacking is that we do not yet have an Africa organization that has got sufficient profile to influence things or say certain things, and then the media takes that on. So, and that's a spot where we want AAAC to be in the future. So such high profile articles will actually help.
in trying, in pushing our name, to the mainstream, yeah.
So, and that's where the Christian was talking about. Someone like Aisha, who's from a university, and she's heavily involved in those activism stuff. They start with writing something, on a human rights perspective, and then what we do, we look for further support, to help them develop more, what they've been doing, because they are tuning, they always see those things happening on a daily basis. For us, sometimes because we leave home, we go to work, we come back. But for them at uni, also with other places they go to, they even experience more than us. Aisha, what do you think?
Can I add on that?
Go for it, Patrick.
Yes.
I heard Noel saying earlier on that we need to be very academic natured, So borrowing from that, we should start having, for example, if we talk about racism, if we talk about stigmatization, or if we talk about marginalization, we as Triple SC, we've got already written articles, we've got research based on how our people are being affected, and that comes in regards to volunteering. We go into the academia world. You talk with the professors. They've got students who we can be able who can be able to help us come up with accurate data that can meet the academic circles.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. So we should have a library of resources, information that we have gathered through our volunteers. That's my thinking.
Okay, Aisha, what do you think in terms of maybe as someone who's at uni, also heavily involved in the different activities, going in different places? When it comes to racism, you'll be one of the first people to witness that. And when it comes to write something to help those volunteers to understand our case more, we need the basic information. For example, from someone like you, for instance. What do you think?
It's a good idea. Yeah, I'm just trying to picture it in my head right now.
No, like what I was talking, if for example we try something on racism, for instance, we'd like someone like you to write something on racism based on your experience you have, based on also your knowledge. And then we'll be having that, for example, that information ready to use if we come across with a volunteer who's willing, for example, to write a big article that can be published by the main media like Sydney Morning Herald, for example.
I'm all for having something written about one's experience when it comes to racism. Not sure I'd be the best because my writing skills are not that great. I talk better than I write. But yeah, if we're sharing experiences, I always think that's a good idea.
Well, like maybe one of the when you give volunteer, for example, has that experience, we can invite him maybe to talk to us and then see how he can work with some of us, in writing something. That's an example. Okay, let's proceed.
I was also going to say, when we're trying to share these stories of experiences, I think it's also really important that we get a lot of different people to share their stories, because I may not necessarily, I definitely don't share the same experience as many other African youth here, as well as you have to consider, you know, colorism. You have to consider people who come here from different backgrounds, or maybe
refugee background, for example. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now the next point: postponed events due to COVID. As I said in the report, so the Jewish Board of Directors dinner was postponed. So, and we want maybe early next year to send email again to them and see if we can have that dinner again. And same thing, the acknowledgement of the Australian service personnel in Rwanda. So event has been postponed. I will send email before the end of this year that we want to organize this event next year. And once those two events have been resumed, I'd like AAC member to be part of it, because that's where now we get exposed. That's also where we can get different connections. So with AAC promotion, we want to see how we can now promote AAC now. We already have things that we can use. For example, we have this literature program going on. We have events that we've been doing, and we'd like someone like a volunteer who can really help us to at least to make a post every week, because it's very hard for me or for Daniel to do things. That's why we are here as a team to help each other. So if you think there's anyone among us who will be able to help us, what we can do, we can provide those information. Maybe even if we do one post a week, that would be very good, so that we can keep our Facebook live. And the next point is the project proposal for joint activity. As I said, we are planning to do those activities with the Australian Human Rights Institute. We'll also be looking for other partners such as Aaac. So when we send this project proposal to university, we'll be waiting for reply, and then once we got that reply, we let you know. Website launch. So our website is now nearly done. What we need to do is to have a launch. But before launch, we still have something to, we still have a few things to finalize. But I would like it to have like early next year, a launch of this website. In the meantime, the website is there now, is live. You can visit our website, but there's some few things that need to be done. But we make a formal website launch early next year. And once again, I thank everyone who's been a part of this journey. Aisha, Gary, Aline, and the Panderas. So you've been doing a good job, and if you have seen it yesterday, we used our formal email, which is connected to this website. And you'd like now from January next year, every communication coming or going out, we'll be using our official website, our official AAC email now, no more Gmail. So from next year, we send also an announcement. So that takes me to any other business before we close.
Look, I would just like to say what a great job everybody's been doing in coming together through very difficult times. we've all experienced a very shared journey of COVID and other challenges up and going, not just locally but internationally. And I think all the different members have contributed what they could when they could. And there's been some key supporters within, which they're all in this meeting, which have given above some others, but that's because our circumstances may have been a bit different at the time. That's my only comment I would like to add. Yep.
Thank you. So, the comment I would like to add is I think many of you have seen here in Sydney. There's every year there's a New South Africa New South Wales Cup, African Cup, New South Wales. I'm pleased to let you know that the organizer has contacted me, and he wants from next year, he wants AAAC from next year to partner. So this is a very huge event, and I was very pleased, and I told him that I would take that request to AAAC committee. So to me, it's a huge favor, and it's an honor to work with them, because I attended one of the game. There were more than 500 people on us, on the field. So having that event, being as one of the partners, we also gave us more recognition on a community level. So as we said, we need to work out how we work with those partners. Of course, the MOU is very needed now. That's why I will really push hard to make sure we have MOU ready by end of January. Thanks.
And I also wanted to share that, obviously to recognize that everyone's effort as well, and to share that as I've previously advised everyone, I've been invited to, I'm part of New South Wales Women, New South Wales Women. There's a group that was initiated by Department of Home Affairs, and we do sort of regular meetings, and we pretty much advocating. Or they just, it's like a consultation, and they're asking, for sort of community input. And one of the issue I was able to raise is the idea of talking about successful stories, instead of the way the media has been, going about. Obviously, they acknowledge that some of their contribution can be limited because of their position. However, they're able to support in different ways. So I think that was one of the things that were raised and that we share with them. We share our concerns, we share our views in terms of the negative image that has been portrayed by the media. So yeah, and other things that women are able to share in that forum is concerns, especially with COVID-19, the increase in DV, the increase in child protection, and the increase in the need of community-based support. So yeah, it's been great to represent AAAC in that forum, and hopefully something good will come out of it, if not in an immediate sort of time frame in the future, so that we know we are like a reference for them to consult us, and we have that platform to share our ideas and our concerns. Yes, so I wanted to share that as well.
It's very important for members of AAAC to be part of those kind of networks, because that's where our core area of work is done. So you go, you share with them what you did with AAAC. Same time, you are advocating for on behalf of our community. So that's why, Patrick, especially for you, you are living in a regional area. We'd like to see you being, heavily involved in those areas because there's issues of, for example, settlement issues there.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm driving.
Yeah.
I hear you. There are a couple of things I can personally undertake here in regards to the sensitizing of AAAC and issues. There are issues of this is more of an Aborigine kind of area. And we also have our own people here who are a bit they need.
So you're cutting off.
Patrick's bandwidth is low, likely due to
He's driving, that's why.
Files.
Yeah. So please allow me not to, because I'm in a very zigzaggy kind of road.
That's okay,
let me concentrate a little bit and just listen to what you say.
Yeah. Maybe send us email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Patrick,
I will.
Thank you.
Patrick, you can also send us a voice recording of a comment, and we can add it to the end of the AGM recording.
So other than that, so if there's no more info share, I would like to officially close our meeting by once again thanking you for your outstanding support, and we look forward to continue working with you together to advance the cause of our community that we are keen and passionate to serve. Thank you and have good night, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sister.
Thanks, brother.